Hello guys, I'm Rem from Team Beast. I'm a Tier 2 Terran, and we're here to bring you the cast from CPL Week 5, Team 5 versus No One Legit Player. And Jackie, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, Hotdogwater, would you like to introduce yourself?
Um, Retired T1 player.
And Beast,
Alright,
which...
yeah, so Beast, I'm the coach for Team Beast, and yeah, we'll be doing week 5 cast CPL.
we're gonna start off with Tier 3 matches, then Tier 2, and then Tier 1. And we're gonna start off with Vitality versus Siev, a PvP. Hopefully it'll be action-packed. Let's get started.
Oh, it's a 30 split from purple.
Interesting split. For
All
sure.
right, spawning in the top left, we have Siev from No One Legit Player, and spawning from the bottom right, we have Norman, Oklahoma, also known as Vitality. All right, so Beast, what do you expect from PvP?
um, so this is my first time like actually looking at other teams like CPL matches. I imagine one of them is gonna go for like a 2-gate, just because this map there's no ramp, and you know it's kind of I guess the safer, easier build to go for.
Uh, so a lot of I know in ASL, like Artosis and Tasis talk about like the rock paper scissors. Do you expect that from this kind of matchup, or do you expect them to both just be safe and just do the 2 gate like you talked about?
Yeah, I mean like I think for the most part, for those, um, any kind of like build order when you
Mitigate
see
at
it
9.
bluted. Okay, so 9-gate, but he's not going for a 2-gate. I don't think.
I think he
He would
just
have.
made the gateway before the pro.
Oh, okay. And actually, purple went for a pylon scout. I don't know if he was like scared of cheese or whatnot. But then this gas is. Huh.
Okay. It seems like
Yeah,
doing
so the
mirror
gas is.
builds.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sneaky pylon.
Yeah, with Norman's tech
He's
being a little
playing
bit
banner
quicker.
pylon.
I
Never mind.
Looks like.
Oh, he's
It
going
looks like
back
he's
in.
oh,
trying.
oh,
Looks like
oh,
he's
Oh,
trying actually.
he wants it so
Oh
bad.
yeah.
oh, here go the manor pylon.
So there's actually two pros being trapped.
Jump them out.
Oh,
So yeah, so the idea of that is to kind of just interrupt the mineral production, and actually right now with two pros being trapped, it's definitely gonna be worth it for Norman. And so kind of the response here is either you glitch it out, the probes that are stuck inside, and if you can't, then the probes that are stuck inside you use to just attack the pylon.
how would you able to glitch it out if, like, say, I mean, we know these are tier 3 players, but if you were like
Yeah, so
someone with higher caliber?
You right
so
click top patch and you just right click hell. After.
yeah.
Oh, he's doing it. He's
Oh, so
doing
he's going for.
it. JK.
So, oh, it's actually pretty close. It might have even been from bugging out from trying to attack it, but yeah, you saw, kind of the probes like stacking on top of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and so you use that mechanic and just like spam click outside, and if you get lucky, they'll just walk outside.
They're complimenting your replay progress block.
Hell yeah.
Is it
Okay, so
is it worth it, like, to delay use the manor pylon, but like wouldn't it delay your build, like say for Norman or
no,
Vitality?
so right here it's kind of a follow up, right? Like it's actually a really good follow up from Norman. Like typically you do follow it up with the Zealot Harass. I mean it's just pressure, like you have to deal with it eventually. It's just
Right.
another thing to think about. And I think especially for CPL, those kind of strategies end up working out pretty well. Basically, whoever takes initiative ends up coming out ahead. I've noticed.
Okay. Oh, so we see Norman upgrading Dragoon range. Both sides going Dragoon range actually.
Yeah, and because there's no ramp, it's pretty hard to defend against like greater number of like dragoons or zealots.
So you want to
And,
get that contain?
yeah, so I think here, depending on what Siev goes for, so third pylon.
Did you catch how many probes he killed in Purple's base? 'Cause
Yeah, he killed
It
3.
looks like
Yeah,
they
he
have the
killed
same
3.
amount anyway.
It's kind of like the running that distraction. Like he's multitasking, and so he ended up
Oh,
not
He had
yeah.
400 gas at some point.
Yeah, so I think here actually purple's building up maybe more. Because one thing is sometimes people don't put enough emphasis on like probe production, and it takes them getting like harassed to actually like notice their probe count, you know?
Right. Do you think
And
this?
so
Do you think this robotics is for reavers or for observers? Because you know if you can die to DTs in this matchup, and one DT could win
yeah,
the game.
I think typically we'll see it being for observers first, but I mean with this you can do both. Most likely he'll add a robotics bay first and then an observatory.
Okay.
But we'll see what he goes for.
I feel like
So that's a-
they're doing mirror builds, but like, oh no, do you agree with the 3 gates? I feel like he's just gonna go for a goon pressure and try to kill Norman.
So this might be a 3-gate obs, which is not as all in as opposed to like a 3-gate reaver push, but we'll see. Because based on Norman's like probe and how he's kind of posturing, it looks like he's trying to go for an expansion here.
All right, Norman's gonna try to poke into the main and natural of Siev.
That's pretty good micro. I'd back out here though.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what's going on inside the base. He just he sees the dragoons. He's going for kind of a soft contain here.
You think Norman? I think
Which-
Norman should expand behind this with the soft contain, or should he
Yeah, it
tech
looks
out?
like he's saving up minerals to do that.
Okay.
In my opinion, once he gets the obs inside the base, kind of sees the situation, he should back out.
Alright, we have fights.
But we'll see what he goes for here.
Alright. Ooh.
Oh, he's actually trying to break out.
Oh. Ooh. This is not looking well for Siev right here. Okay, so we've seen Vitality's observer into Siev's main. He sees 3 gates. Oh, and he expands behind this as well.
Might die if he moves it down any further. JK knows.
Okay, so I think Norman shouldn't commit too heavily to this. It's working now, but depending on how they trade, actually Norman traded really well here. But reinforcements from Siev will always get there first, you know. So
Right.
eventually, if you keep trading evenly, Siev will just end up pulling ahead.
Right. But oh,
And,
the server snipe over there. Ooh, okay, that's not good for Siev. Now you can't count the amount of dragoons outside his base.
Yeah. So actually, Norman's playing this pretty well. I'd say if he had like a tech follow-up to this, or just even more gates, that would be pretty good. He's adding one right now, actually.
I mean, the longer Siev gets contained, I mean, this natural is gonna be up.
Yeah.
And once he gets the minerals, I mean, he's gonna eventually outnumber Siev. So Siev has to break out soon, or Norman's economy is gonna allow him to get more gates. And
So here, I might. Okay, so he actually did make a zealot. That's pretty. So usually when you're contained like this, you want to build a couple zealots to take
I
shots
think
while you.
he's doing the other thing. Blue's gonna have everything outside, and the Reaver's gonna go to his base.
oh, but Norman
Yeah, we could definitely see
scouts
that
it
as well.
though. Yeah, he's with
The
the
only-
ops.
The only thing is, Siev doesn't have an observer out on the map. He doesn't. He has no idea what's going on in Norman's base right now.
Wait, is that Dragoon intentional? Okay, never mind.
I mean, he would guess at this point. I mean, he's got to have an expansion up by now. Like, Civ has to like break out sooner,
He
better
saw
than
the
later.
shot.
Yeah, so he's Norman's aware of everything that's going on right now, and actually Norman's going for a Reaver tech of his own.
Slight little late, but yes, yeah, he's coming out right now.
And their supplies are even right now, but with the expansion up, you'll start to see that kind of snowball to the other side. So Norman sees that. Oh, he's following with the observer. He sees it.
Oh, he sees his shuttle.
Can he
Okay.
catch it though? Okay, so he ends up pulling back.
I don't think
I guess he was aware that it was being followed by the observer.
I don't think he should use the shuttle as harass. I think he should just use the shuttle to help break out and take an expansion and just play from behind.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think at this point he should go for like a 2 Reaver bust.
Right.
Well, I mean, he saw his reaction. He should move the shuttle to the right, have half his goons run there, and then just all in his.
Yeah. So with the shuttle out on the map, I think it's pretty risky to keep going for this
You
side.
wanna go again?
Oh, he's gonna get the second obs. Oh, he is. Okay, well, Norman doesn't know where the shuttle's gonna go now. Oh, as you see, Norman's dropping 2 cannons at his natural, scared of the shuttle coming out to drop his natural.
Let's see how Siev goes about. It looks like he's gonna go for the bust instead. His shuttle's kind of hanging back.
Yeah. Oh, you see Norman with his
Wait, he's going
he's
for it.
Oh
AI.
no, you can't stream goons like that. Oh, this is
So yeah, and Siev actually needs to pull all of the rest of his units as well.
yeah.
It's not looking good.
Oh, good. No. Oh, good Reaver
Oh.
shot. Oh, we gotta use that shot on the micro.
I think Norman's gonna pull out ahead here though.
Yeah.
There's a Reaver coming this way.
Yeah.
For blue. JK, it's AFK.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Norman's just gonna be able to win with this Dragoon advantage here though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that
Oh.
AI is like really awkward to like.
I think
bust
he
that out.
lost the. Oh, and he's about to lose a shuttle. I think this is a good game here.
Yeah, I don't see any
Yeah.
way for Siev to come back into this. He's actually going for that +1 ground weapons too.
I mean, you should have waited for these zealots to come out before you fought.
Yeah. Another thing you could do is elevator some of your dragoons out and go for like a
Yeah.
flank. And I think that would have been pretty good here.
Yeah, especially
well, I
at.
mean, he saw
yeah.
when he reacted, so that wasn't
Yeah.
viable here.
Oh, and that's a good game for
That's
Civ.
GG.
All right,
Yeah, game 1 goes to Norman.
Oklahoma. I'm not even sure if he's from there, or also known as Vitality.
Oh yeah, he's Vitality, huh?
Yeah, so he's Vitality. CPL's got some weird names. Let me just. All right, that was 1-0 for Vitality. All right. Okay. All right, we go to game 2. And it's gonna be on Aztec. All right. You guys want to join the lobby?
Coming. I think you misspelled vitality
I spelled.
on your stream.
I misspelled Vitality.
Well,
Oh.
you're Vial.
Viality.
Oh, Vitality. I mean, he could be that. I mean, he's Norman, Oklahoma at this point.
Shoutouts to Vivi the Owl.
Is that?
No.
Is Vivi the owl Vitality? I'd
I
guess
don't
so,
know,
judging
but
from
he,
that
Yeah.
sad face.
they put it.
Yo, shout out to Norman, Oklahoma. That's what we're shouting out to.
Oh yeah, make sure you change the score too, since you have it there.
Oh, I thought I changed the score. It's 1-0 for Vitality.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
1-0 for Vitality. I did not cheat Vitality out of his 1 point. Alright, you guys ready for game 2? Alright.
Alright, let's do it.
I
Alright.
suppose.
Alright, game 2's gonna be an Aztec. 2.1.
2.1.
2.1.
Alright, so. Oh,
Alright.
actually, not much.
Yeah. It's already, just talk about the game. Alright, spawning in the bottom left, we have Vitality, also known as Norman, Oklahoma. And spawning at the 12 o'clock position, we have Siev, the Blue Protoss from Team Not1LegitPlayer. There, I hit it again. There we go. Beautiful girl back on stream. Alright, Beast, what do you think what does Siev has to do to get back into this matchup?
I think you shouldn't worry too much about what Norman might do. I mean, I think as long as his build order's clean, in PvP it's kind of like it's really dependent on how your opening goes, as far as putting your buildings down on time. And I mean, he's shown that he can make probes. He can kind of. I think he's the type of player that'll transition well into like a mid game if it gets there. And I think if he does get there, he has an edge over Norman.
What do you think about this? Is this an early probe scout from Siev out here? Thinking about maybe some cheese?
I noticed he did that too, the pylon scouting.
Right. Is there like is it just like he's scared of cheese, or just want to get the early information?
Yeah. Typically in PvP, that's the only reason you'd pylon scout. And you could see the difference between pylon scouting and not. You can see the difference in the gateway timing, the gas. It actually makes a pretty big difference.
Right.
And so typically, at the earliest, players go for a gateway expand.
Right.
Some people don't even scout until after the core is put down. Pretty late.
Alright. Let's get the mirror builds.
And something to keep in mind is that this map has reverse ramps into the main.
Right.
And kind of like we saw last game, those like soft contains, that 2-gate pressure is pretty strong here. And so we'll have to see. I think they might go for a similar, maybe a 3-gateway observer build coming out from Siev
Oh,
again.
Norman got a probe kill with this probe. But he's about to lose his own right now. Oh, so we just trade probes.
I wonder if Norman was going for another
Manor pylon?
Manor pylon. Yeah, it's possible.
It's kind of hard on this map.
Yeah. Oh, something to keep in mind though is that I think Siev got distracted by that probe harass, so his second pylon's late, and he's not mining from gas at all.
And he's supply blocked right now.
Yeah, so he has that core up, but he's not gonna be able to build anything from it for a while.
Oh, you have a pylon. Oh, he did make a second pylon now. Now he's starting mount gas, but he's a bit behind right now.
Yeah, and you can see here, Norman's going for another gateway heavy build, and it'll work pretty well on this type of map.
Yeah, I think with that soft contain, I think it's really hard to break, especially in reverse ramp. Like, not having a ramp is hard, and not having a reverse ramp is like double hard.
So that pylon's actually pretty risky as well. It can get ranged down from dragoons.
Right. I really don't. I mean, I think he's just really scared of. I feel like Siev is just scared of like drops and cheese. Like his pylons are like out in the open, just like to scout anything that's incoming to his base eventually.
Yeah, it's not a bad habit to have, especially in PvP, like spotter pylons. But I think for that one, it's probably a little too exposed.
Do you think Siev is gonna? He hasn't dropped his second gate yet, and Norman already has the second gate out. Do you think Siev is gonna try to maybe expand or maybe do some tech play maybe?
Yeah, the thing is, Siev doesn't really know how behind he is, and so, he's kind of hanging out his ramp right now. I think just from our perspective, what he needs to do is kind of take control of that ramp close to that lower ground expansion right there. Kind of buy him some time.
Yeah.
He's making a robot.
Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna see a similar build from Norman, the 2-gate obs into expansion.
Yeah. And then we also see a somewhat similar build. We have 3 gates for Civ and the robotics as well.
Yeah, so actually the same builds coming out for both players. It looks like Siv's going for that 3-gate obs again, and Norman's going for the 2-gate obs expansion.
Which play do you like better?
Um, like I said,
I think the 3-gate on this map.
yeah, with CPL and stuff, typically you see the one who kind of takes the pace of the game.
Right. Ooh, he
Ends
loses
up
the
coming up
Dragoon.
ahead.
Oh no, he's about to lose both Dragoons here.
Oh, he's doing a pretty good job at microing, but Siev just had an edge with the Dragoons. But these two Zealots, see if they can do any more. At this point, you kind of have to commit with the Zealots. If you try to
Right.
run away,
The Dragoon's
they're
just
just gonna get free
outranged.
hits. Yeah, so here you can see that happening. He should have just stayed and fought the other Zealot.
Right, and just at least
Yeah.
get one more kill.
Right.
Like, get as much as out of it. Oh, you have 2 idle pros for Civ.
So actually, with that trade, it's looking pretty good for Siev. He's gonna be able to reinforce much quicker, and you can actually see in the supply, it looks like Siev just has way more probes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oklahoma doesn't like last game. I think Siev had more probes than him.
Yeah. I see like maybe like 12, 13 on Norman's side, maybe 12 to 14 probes, and I see a lot more for Civ just counting. I think Civ
Yeah.
realized that his advantage. He's starting to push up, trying to get the contain maybe this time around. But I think
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good call. He just needs to bring everything right now.
yeah.
Yeah, Siev has like 20.
Yeah.
Norman has
Like I saw from last game, like his like big army control, like not like 3 or 4 units, like it's kind of lackluster a little bit. I mean, it was probably due to the choke, but I mean, you have to be able to move all your units together.
the thing
Siev
is,
kind of.
he focus fired something he already shot to 20, so you waste like 8 gunshots.
Yeah, so here, kind of got the advantage again, just because Siev made a pretty poor trade there on the ramp.
Yeah.
I think if Siev kind of just was a little more patient, waited for all of his Dragoons, he
Yeah.
might have been able to make a pretty good trade there.
I think he could have actually even gone around, like just even take the longer route, because you know the other side has a bigger ramp, and you can at least, you don't have to like choke your Dragoons and then get them all shot one by one.
Oh, the thing is though, he does still have that gateway advantage,
Right.
and I think he'll be able to hold us just fine with reinforcing Dragoons.
Yeah. And his Nexus is a little faster too.
Siev looks really.
Yeah, and so you'll see like with this expansion coming out, his superior probe count, his mid game transition is gonna be much stronger than Norman's.
Shadow from Norman.
I think Norman's gonna. I think Norman's gonna try to get his reroute faster than Civ. I think Civ is really focusing on his gateway play right now, trying to make sure he doesn't die.
He actually made that Robo Bay a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, both players have had their support bays up for a while now. I think just kind of the pressure they were applying onto each other, kind of distracting them for a second.
What do you think about like just like a fast speed shuttle with the Reaver in this map? Because they can't really see going behind.
Yeah, so speed shuttles are pretty good. Typically, you don't even want to enter the Protoss main without speed.
Right.
It's way too risky for something you might not get.
Oh,
Especially with spotter pylons out.
Right.
And I mean, I guess if you have an observer in the enemy base and you know there's no Dragoons nearby, then just go for it, you know. But if there are Dragoons in the base, you usually won't get any harass off with a slow shuttle.
Oh, we see the Reaver done for Norman, Oklahoma. And then we have Siev getting his own shuttle along. Oh, Norman Oklahoma's getting shuttle speed. He's researching right now. It's almost 3/4 done.
It's almost done. And
Yeah.
he sees that cannon, and so he'll be able to avoid it coming into the base.
Do you like the Sim City of Civ, like to block, like to prevent Reavers, like Scarabs? Like how do I always wonder how those Reaver Scarabs like travel, like what nooks and crannies can they go through? Kind of like Zerglings.
They'll be able to fit between all these buildings. Reaver Scarabs are pretty skinny. And because he had the observers in the base, now he can avoid that cannon.
Yeah.
The Scarabs are 5x5.
So we'll see if...
Oh, here comes the shuttle. Oh, speed shuttle.
Oh, this is...
Oh.
Oh, he got it right in.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, let's go for another shot.
7 kills.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh!
wait, oh my goodness.
18 kills. Oh, 19 on the Dragoon. 19.
That's massive.
He just wiped Civ's main probe line. That's it.
Yeah, so the actual advantage that Civ had is like completely gone now. It's gonna take him a while to remake all those probes. Meanwhile, Norman's starting to pump out probes of his own now.
Yeah, and he's adding 2 more gates. I think Civ's feeling the pressure. I think he's moving out. Do you think this is too early?
I think he's just like you said. He's feeling the pressure. He feels like he needs to do something. I mean, he definitely does need to do something, whether it's expanding or going for that all-in attack.
No, not this ramp again.
Oh no!
Oh
Can't
no,
single
this is actually
really bad.
And his Reaver's not on time either.
Oh no, he's crumbling here. He's got 4 idle Dragoons just standing there.
Oh no.
Oh, and the shuttle's about to get caught, and there. Oh, he drops the shuttle, the Reaver.
There's no Scarabs.
Oh no. He didn't even queue any Scarabs into his Reaver. I saw him as the Reaver died. He just queued up a Scarab.
Yeah, I think he was just feeling the pressure and felt like he needed to do something. And yeah, I think if he took the time to go up the other side of the ramp, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, and Norman Oklahoma, he smells blood in the water. He's going back.
Yeah, I mean, he has an observer there. He knows that, you know, he did a bunch of damage, and that Siev isn't going to be able to rebuild quick enough.
Yeah.
I think if he keeps pressuring here.
Oh no! Why are they both insistent on going up this tiny ramp? Like both of them. I mean, at least Norman's like all his Dragoons are firing together.
Oh my.
Yeah. With this number though, it doesn't matter. And once Norman pushes up and gets control of Siev's ramp, it's gonna be really hard to do anything about it. He's gonna lose his expansion here, most likely.
You know, what can
Maybe
Siev do?
a little more than that.
And Norman's doing a pretty good job of rallying his units over too. That's a good habit to have.
I think one thing I learned about Norman is like he gets vision, right? He's always on top of his observer. He's always making an observer, even if they get sniped. Like he's always keeping tabs on his opponent. While I see kind of like Siv's observer is kind of like too scared to like go inside his main and see what his opponents are doing.
Yeah, I think Siev's definitely the more macro-oriented player. He looks pretty content with kind of doing his own thing, and if his opponent lets him, you know, kick up his probe count, his expansions, I think that's where he'll pull ahead. But here, Norman did a pretty good job of constantly applying pressure. I mean, he killed 18 probes with 1 Reaver. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think this is it. I mean,
Yeah,
think
I don't see him coming back from this, especially with no
yeah,
probes and
and that's a good game. All right, that's 2-0 for my man Norman, Oklahoma, also known as Vitality.
And you can see at the end though, like the resource tab, they actually mine like the same amount, and that goes to show like, you know, even if you take harass, like the fact that he had those probes, that good probe production,
Right.
he was just, you know, kind of ahead most of the game until that harass happened.
I mean, now that we see both games, do you have any advice for both players or something? I mean, you are a coach for Team Beast, then. I mean, I feel like you should
Yeah,
give some advice to both players.
yeah. I mean, kind of the same things, right? It's like as far as for Norman, I feel like if he just ups his pro production, he can better carry out the kind of plans he has in mind.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah,
you can have a great like game plan, you know, if you don't have enough muscle behind it, you know. So
yeah,
I think once he fixes that one issue and kind of ups his probe count, that'll carry him much further.
yeah. What about Civ?
As far as Civ, it's
He's
I
he
think
playing
he was
pretty
just too
well.
comfortable. Yeah, he was playing pretty well. I think he was just kind of too comfortable doing his own thing.
Right,
It seemed like he was gonna do the same thing, regardless of what Norman did,
right,
and didn't adjust too much to it.
right.
He's not as big on like observer scouting and stuff. And if he did have an observer inside Norman's main, he would have seen the shuttle and would have had dragoons in the base.
Yeah,
But I think that's pretty much it. Is just kind of reacting more to what your opponent's doing,
right.
because otherwise his macro and everything's pretty good.
All right. For those players, if you guys are watching, keep that in mind.